Hey, okay, welcome back to Gronsky Books, and happy birthday to me. A couple days late, but it was a great birthday for me. Had a wonderful time with some friends and family. Went on a big road trip around the Midwest. Saw a lot of people. Had a really good time, and I ended up collecting a lot of books. Some of these I bought for myself, but a lot of these were gifts from friends and family. And I just wanted to kind of go over these with you. I've never done anything like a book haul on this channel before, but I wanted to kind of quickly go over the books that I picked up for my birthday and kind of give you a preview of some of the books that I may be featuring on this channel real soon.
Join our hands together and we'll sink in quicksand. Run it out together till we misunderstand. Adopt a life of silence on a trim scrap of land, or reconsider living on the other hand.
The first book is the Canterbury Tales. This is something that I've never actually read. I was talking to a friend of mine who was trying to convince me to read Hyperion by Dan Simmons, and he was explaining to me that it was told with a Canterbury Tales style narrative, and I didn't know what he meant by that, and he had to explain to me that it was about several characters telling their own tale on a journey to somewhere else. And I was like, man, I didn't even realize that. So this is actually one that I bought for myself. The next three are Mark Twain books. We've got Life on the Mississippi, The Diary of Adam and Eve, and a new copy of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I actually just reread Huckleberry Finn, and I'm going to be releasing a video on this channel real soon about this book. But I needed a new copy. So recently I found myself in Hannibal, Missouri, Mark Twain's boyhood home, and they had a lot of museums and sort of tourist traps there, and I bought all three of these Mark Twain books in Hannibal while I was there. So next up is Ragtime by E.L. Doctorow, or Doctorow. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name. This book has been on my TBR for a very long time, and then earlier this year, one of my best friends recommended it again on top of it already being on my TBR. I already had a mass market paperback copy of this book, but it was kind of falling apart. And so when I found this at Barnes & Noble the other day, I actually bought this one for myself as well. Next up is Fiscadoro by Dennis Johnson. This was a gift. I don't really know much about Dennis Johnson. I've heard good things about Train Dreams and Jesus' Son. I've never heard of this book though. And I've never read anything by him, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The back of this book, I won't read the whole thing, but it really rants and raves about how great this is. It's a mythical story, a coming of nuclear age tale, something that Melville might have written had he survived into the modern age. All right, next up is The Iless in Gaza by Aldous Huxley. This is sort of a loosely autobiographical book about Anthony Beavis. Kind of a post-World War I book, a guy left in the vacuum of the post-war world and trying to live his best life. So I'm a real sucker for Aldous Huxley, and I'm really looking forward to getting to this one, hopefully soon. I want to get to all of these soon, but there's obviously a lot of books here. This book is called Slump. I'd never heard of this one. This is another gift. This is another World War I novel. This is an anti-war novel written by a German, and he had to publish this anonymously because he wrote this after the First World War, about the First World War. I guess this was published, and forgive me if I get this wrong, but I think this was published as Hitler was beginning to come to power, and this book was one of the books that the Nazi Party burned. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's supposed to be a comedy and an anti-war novel from the point of view of a German soldier. All right, and then we've got The Lincoln Highway by Amor Towles. Now, I've just finished reading this, so I picked this one up myself. I bought this off a used book rack at my library. The Friends of the Library were trying to raise money. This was a book donation. I picked this up for $3 and I read this on my last road trip. I was considering doing a full-length video on this channel about this book until I finished it, and in the end, I think I was sort of disappointed in the whole endeavor. I was just not terribly thrilled by The Lincoln Highway for a number of reasons. I've heard a lot of really good things about Amor Towles. I think that's how you say his name. Towles, maybe? Amor Towles. His Gentleman in Moscow book is very well acclaimed, and maybe I should have started there. This book was funny, and I liked what it was going for. I just felt like there were too many shifts in perspective, and we got distracted too much by other people's stories. I think that if it had stuck with the two primary stories, it would have been a lot better. It could have maybe cut down a little bit, and I don't mind longer books, but I felt sometimes, especially in retrospect, after finishing the book and knowing where it all went eventually, and where some of these stories dead ended, that some of the stuff in this book was really just not necessary. But it was never not interesting. It was never not interesting. So this was a decent book. It was worth my time to read. I just don't have a terrible lot to say about it. I will say, though, that the title is like the old magician's tablecloth trick. I'll leave it at that. All right, these next three books, I've got the Han Solo Trilogy. I actually bought these for myself. Again, so this is a birthday present for myself. I've wanted these for a long time. These books are pretty old. Not much to say about these books. I enjoy campy Star Wars books, and I think what I'm looking forward to about these Han Solo books is that it kind of eliminates some of the mystical force stuff that kind of bogs down some of the stories. This is just a rompy space adventure, or it's supposed to be. And then similarly, I picked these up at a comic book store. These are three old Robert Heinlein novels. I've only... Oh, you know what I did? And I just realized this. I accidentally bought two of the same book. They're... No way. Well, there were three different Robert Heinlein novels at the comic book store, and so I grabbed three of them, but one of them's a duplicate. So I have two copies of The Man Who Sold the Moon. I've got a buddy whose birthday's coming up, and so I think I'll slip this in with his birthday gift. So now I have two Robert Heinlein, old Robert Heinlein novels. The other one is The Menace from Earth. Oh well. That was an accident. Alright, so then next up is Terry Pratchett's The Color of Magic. Now, I've never read any Discworld novel by Terry Pratchett. In fact, the only Terry Pratchett that I ever read was the book that he co-wrote with Neil Gaiman, the Good Omens book. And I liked that book. It was fun. It's not usually my kind of humor. I've heard him compared to Douglas Adams. I don't know how accurate that is. I've read The Hitchhiker's Guide, but not for a lot of years. I don't really know how comparable Terry Pratchett is to Douglas Adams, but I thought that I would give this a chance. So this is the first book chronologically in the Discworld series. And I know you don't necessarily have to read them in order, but there are 41 books, and I thought, why not just start at the beginning if I'm going to read them. Next up is Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. This book was given to me for free. So I guess it was a gift. Not necessarily a birthday gift, but my neighbor across the street was having a garage sale. I asked how much she wanted for this book, and she said, "Oh, just take it. We're trying to get rid of stuff." I don't think she realizes what the point of a garage sale is. But I took it. So now I've got Old Man in the Sea. This was a gift here. This is just a book journal. And what I'm going to use this book journal for here is to keep track of the books that I review on this channel. This book has room for 100 book reviews. It's a reading log. It's got stuff for like the title, the author, genre, when I started and finished it, my review, my ratings for the plot, character, and the writing. Anyway, this was a birthday gift. I don't know, can you still see these? Am I getting in the way here? Alright, so next up, I've got these two Edward Gorey books. Now, I collect these old Edward Gorey, I don't know if they're called quartos or what size this is, but these little books, they're usually they've got these short little whimsical poems with Edward Gorey's illustrations. And I've got a number of these already on my shelf. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. My mom found these, so now I've got these. So I'm happy to. These were co-written with Peter F. Newmeyer. Super happy to add these to the collection. All right, last up, but it's not last, so don't just click off. Okay, there's something else after this. But last on this pile is this Kurt Vonnegut collection. I've had my eye on this collection for many, many years. And every time I go into a bookstore and I see a Kurt Vonnegut book, I want to buy it. I don't have any Kurt Vonnegut books on my shelf right now. And that's because I've wanted this box set. This has every single Kurt Vonnegut novel. But this was a gift from a dear friend. And I got this just last night. And I am super, super thrilled to add this to my shelf. Kurt Vonnegut is one of my favorite writers of all time. I've read a lot of his novels, but I'm dead set on reading every book of his that I have not read yet, probably in the next year. This is an awesome thing for me. All right, so like I said, that's not everything. There is another thing. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been driving around with this big plastic garbage bag in the trunk of my car because somebody at another garage sale was going to just throw all these books away. So let me get these out of this bag. All right. The problem with these books is that they're kind of dirty. They do kind of have a hint of smoky garage smell, and they're really dusty and they're kind of dirty. They're not that bad though, but this person didn't feel comfortable selling them at their garage sale. So they were just gonna throw them all away. And I was like, the book lover in me just cannot abide somebody throwing these books away. So I told them I would clean them up, and they just gave them to me. So I've got The Essential Plato, Faulkner's The Reavers, The Uncollected Stories of William Faulkner, Sound and the Fury by Faulkner, The Wild Palms by Faulkner, A Death in the Family by William Agee, The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway, The Turk by Tom Standage, the Dover Thrift edition of Oscar Wilde's Picture of Dorian Gray, The Essential Kabbalah, The Essential Confucius, The Way of a Pilgrim, Slaughterhouse-Five, Mark Twain's Letters from the Earth, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson, 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert M. Pirsig, The Essential Rumi, The Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Tao Te Ching. So that's a lot of books that don't deserve to go in the trash just because they're a little bit dusty. Don't throw your books in the trash, and don't store them in the garage, for God's sakes. So, I'm just gonna put these books down there for now, and I'm gonna clean those up. But that's still not all. There is yet a third set of books. Over the last couple of months or so, I have been receiving in the mail some gifts from well-wishing friends and family. So I have a lot of unopened packages of books that I have not seen yet. So I'm going to open them on camera real quick, okay? Yes, so that's a lot. So let's just get to it. Alright, so the first book is War Porn by Roy Scranton, and it looks like this is an old library copy. It looks like it's in pretty good shape, though. This is from the library in Dundee, Illinois. Alright, next one. Alright, this is the Dolorad by Missouri Williams. Alright, next. This is Rhinoceros by Ionesco. This is actually a play, and I am very much looking forward to studying this. I'm working on a novel that includes some references to rhinoceros. Alright, so the next one is City of Pearl by Karen Travis. Alright, so then we've got Jar City, and I don't know how to pronounce this author's name. This is an Icelandic novel, I believe. I bought this one for myself, so this was a recommendation from a booktuber that I watched. So I can't actually remember who recommended it. This is another play. This is called The Children's Hour by Lillian Hellman. June 30th. It's a book of poetry here by Richard Brodigan. I once gave this book as a gift to a friend of mine who was born on June 30th, and he was a poet, so I thought that was perfect. And now somebody has given me a copy of this book. I don't know who sent it, though. I didn't know this one was coming. It's cool. All right, and then we've got The Death of Ivan Ilyich by Lev Tolstoy. Not Leo Tolstoy. This is Lev Tolstoy. It's interesting. I've never seen his name printed as Lev Tolstoy. I guess different translations. This must be a self-published edition. I don't know where this is. Published by Digibooks OOD, Demetra Publishing, Bulgaria. Yeah. Okay. You never know what you're gonna get. Oh, okay, and we've got Transit to Scorpio by Alan Burt Akers. I've already got a bunch of these Scorpio books, and I'm planning a video on this Scorpio series sometime in the future, but I want to get all the books first and then just tear through and read them. I think they look like they're going to be a lot of fun. I love these covers on all these books, so I'm really looking forward to it. So this is a book that I bought for myself. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. This was a gift from my mother. This is the Gormenghast trilogy. Wow, this looks great. This is the illustrated Gormenghast trilogy. Oh boy. This is a trilogy about a young man named Titus who's expected to rule his kingdom from a castle. He has other plans for himself. But this is supposed to be just a fantastic book, fantastic trilogy. So I'm really very much looking forward to this. This one I'm probably going to get to sooner rather than later. Oh, okay. So awesome. All right. So here we've got The Three Body Problem by Shizhen Liu. This is all three books bound up in one volume. It's a little flimsy, but how many pages is this? Holy cow. This is 1,462 pages long. This is a big book to hold on to. Holy smokes. This is another one I'd like to get to sooner rather than later. If you've been around BookTube at all in the last couple of years, you've heard quite a lot about this book, and so have I, and so I want to get to it. I'm not sure if I'll do a video on it because so many other people have done a video on this book, but I definitely want to read it. Alright, and then the last one. I don't know what this is. Alright, this is the Bestial trilogy by Jens Bornbo. That's good. So we've got Moment of Freedom, Powder House, and The Silence. So this is written by a very controversial Norwegian writer who really likes to poke his finger at the status quo. So I don't know how that's going to feel as an American reading his work. But I'm really looking forward to finding out. Well, that's going to do it for me. Again, happy birthday to Eric. And hopefully I can get to a lot of these real soon. And just a couple of weeks ago, I made a video asking you guys what books I should be reading. And a lot of you voted for the Shakespeare Christopher Moore books. So those are the books that I've been concentrating on. But I've also got 4 other videos that are going to come out before I even get to the Shakespeare video. I've been really busy wrapping up these reading projects. Unfortunately, I just haven't had a lot of time to edit videos or to shoot videos. What with work and life and family and everything and all, but I am trying to get something out there. That's why I'm doing this video today. I just wanted to get something out there, let you know that I'm still reading, and your votes in that other video were heard. So I'm reading the Shakespeare and some of the other standalone books. I've got a lot of plans for this channel, a lot of plans for this channel, and I know that my videos have slowed down in the last couple of months. But this, it's summertime and a lot of stuff's going on right now, especially with work and everything. So maybe one day I can devote all my time to reading, but that's just not possible right now. So I'm doing the best that I can. So I appreciate all of you guys out there watching my videos, liking and subscribing and commenting. I love reading your comments. So please keep that up. And I appreciate all you new subscribers out there. Every week I get more subscribers, and it's thrilling for me to see that, and it makes me want to keep going. And I love to see the engagement, and I love that you guys are out there asking for more, and I got more to give you. All right, we'll be seeing you soon. So I hear you asking, Eric, all you got for your birthday was books? No, of course not. I also got this really cool hematite worry stone. I just realized that now I have to find room for all those books on these shelves back here. And I am running out of room. Honestly, I could have worse problems.